Home should be a time of great joy for thousands of parents. It's not.
Yeah, perinatal anxiety and depression affects more than 1 in 5 new mums and 10% of new dads as well. But here to tell you today that you are not alone and help is at hand. We've got these incredible people from the Gidget Foundation, ambassador and mum of 2, Bridget Glanville, and psychologist Chris Barnes. Nice to see you both, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Bridget, we might start with you. You described being in such despair after the birth of your second daughter that you actually put a knife to your arm.
I did.
And started cutting.
Yeah, self-harming.
How did you get to that point?
So I was incredibly ill. Yeah, I was really sick, obviously with very bad postnatal depression. What had happened is when I had my first daughter, Lola, I'd had lots of feeding issues, and I just think the anxiety of that sort of got parked. When I gave birth to my second child, Clementine, all of the same feeding issues came back, and that sort of anxiety and wave of, oh no, this is happening again. We were in and out of hospital very early on. At 6 weeks, she had hip dysplasia. She had to go into a harness. That affected feeding issues. Had a 2-year-old at home, and I was just on this slippery slope downhill. I was irritable. I had help at home. I was in this sort of constant state of feeling like this sort of whipped dog. I was incredibly, I just wanted to be alone, but I was very lonely, and all I wanted was my husband to take Lola, and I have 2 stepsons, and I didn't want them around me. I just wanted to be able to feed the baby and not see anyone, but I also was resentful that my mother wasn't there to help me. My husband was at home. I was lucky. I had help. He was doing lots of the things, but I was cranky at him. I was teary. So it was a whole combination of things, and I just got to the point where I'd seen my GP, and she had said to me, I think you need to go on antidepressants. And I was still in that stage going, no, I don't need to do this. And I just got to the point, I used to smoke, I'd started smoking again, I was drinking too much, and it was late at night, you know, it was 10:30 at night, and I was just sitting there at the kitchen, and I remember thinking, I just need to physically harm myself. If I can give myself some physical pain, it'll take away the mental pain in my head.
Wow. So was that the turning point for you to get some help?
Well, it was, because I remember Clementine woke up and I just was then sobbing, and I didn't go through, and, you know, and I was seriously just, you know, I was shaking, and then my husband, I think he was in bed at the time, and I woke him up, and Tim was also a journalist at the ABC and has suffered from depression and PTSD. He was a former foreign correspondent. And so he was very aware of what I was like, and he was the one who convinced me to go and get help. He could see this downs, you know, this spiral that I was on. And so he was very supportive. And then once that, I started taking medication literally within a week. And often, Chris would tell you, antidepressants can take weeks to work, but I think because that imbalance, the chemical imbalance in my brain was so out that, you know, within a week I could see things starting to be better. And I just...
You think, why did I suffer so long?
Yeah. And it was just, and even last night I was reading the story. I wrote about it then when I got involved with the Gidget Foundation, and reading the story last night that I wrote 2 years ago, I just said to my husband, I said, oh, no wonder there was such a reaction when I wrote this, because I said I was like a different person.
Yeah.
And it's such a treatable illness. It was just, yeah, it's...
So we can definitely relate to stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, are these like common problems like unsettled babies and feeding? Are they the things that bring on this anxiety and depression, or is that just something that's in us, I guess?
Well, I think there's a variety of factors that brings on perinatal anxiety and depression. There can be psychological stuff, there can be social factors, there can be biological. So usually it's a mixture, and it's quite a complex thing, I think, and it's different for everybody, and it doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anyone. And Bridget's story is pretty hard-hitting, but I think it's really wonderful to hear, because it can happen to anyone, and it's really common, like you said, the stats before, Sarah. So
well, in fact, it was interesting as well to read the number of men who and dads who are suffering from this as well.
And I think we're trying to increase our awareness of it happening to fathers as well. I mean, 1 in 10 is huge, right?
Sure.
And we've done surveys, and dads don't even think it can happen to them often.
Yeah.
So we're including them as much as possible.
So the Gidget Foundation does provide support as well for mums and also dads?
Yeah, we
affected by...
really do. I think a lot of people thought it was just focused on women, but it's not. And our services and counselling services, and we have fact sheets. Balloons, the chemist, have fact sheets in every store. We have helping tip sheets for dads on our website as well. And we have a Gidget Virtual Village on Facebook, like a peer-moderated support group as well, which is fabulous.
And one of the new things, Sarah and Tristan, they've just added, which I thought if they'd had it when I was in the state would have been fantastic. There's a new app called Sonder, which is a free app which you can go to, and there's 24/7 support, and you can literally just, put in, you can go online to the app and someone will text you and someone will call you and they can talk to you, so it's free counselling.
Brilliant.
And then they will send people to the house if they need someone. Now, if I had had that at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, 24/7, that would have been, life-saving. And that's just a new partnership that's just remarkable, I think.
The Gidget Foundation does brilliant work. This week, of course, is our Postnatal Depression and Anxiety Australia Week. Find out how you or someone you know can get help by going to gidgetfoundation.org.au.